we each know what our role is in the band, and we know what we're, our strengths and our weaknesses and what we're good at and bad at. And it just, it just works because there's no egos.
Ghost Cult Magazine welcomes in the band Swim the Current, most of the band. How are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing good,
man.
Doing good.
Well.
Awesome to see you here. Congratulations on your recent single and forming this kind of quasi tri-state area supergroup, if you will. And although, I'm sure you guys are mad humble and don't see it that way, every time I interview someone from an actual supergroup, they downplay it. Even if it is very super people, so I think it's always exciting when people from a bunch of bands, there was a period of time, I'm sure you guys all remember, where bands could not guest on other people's albums or make side projects. It was very controversial to have side projects. Are they quitting their band? What's going on? But, you can also have a side, many bands now. So I think it's really super cool that you guys formed this band.
Definitely.
And that's what it was. It was like totally organic. We just started it purely as a passion project for fun. And, we started to say, well, it just started to grow legs, but Chris made it better and said, we started to grow fins and we started swimming.
Love that. I love that.
That's hilarious.
Right there.
Really the whole intent, Greg's, just background, like Greg and I met during a we're doing a video playthrough for a Disciples of Verity song. Cause that's how we all met, basically. I know that Greg and George have been friends forever and worked together forever, but I met George at NAMM probably about 4 years ago. And I was out there for Music Man, and he was out there for his various different, products that he endorses. But a good friend of mine, actually, was like my best friend since childhood, a guy named Butch Jones. He's the A&R guy for DR Strings. So I was over at the Music Man booth. I walk over to say hi to Butch, and George is there. So he goes, oh, let me introduce you to my friend George. We ended up hanging out the whole weekend. I was like, this guy's the coolest guy ever. He was so nice and fun to hang out with. And we just stayed in touch after NAMM. And he started listening to my music. I started listening to his. And he's like, hey, I'm doing this project with Corey Glover, Disciples of Verity. He's like, I'd love to have you play in a couple of tracks. And that's how it started, And then I end up meeting Greg through George, and I don't know, it was like the first day we met, it was just this instant like chemistry, we just really got along, no egos, just, we loved each other's music. And Greg just had this idea for Swim the Current. He had this whole concept of just doing a fun passion project, just don't care about anything other than making music that we love. We weren't doing it for anybody else but ourselves, and that's how it started. And that was probably, it's got to be almost 2-3 years now that we started
close to it.
Material. Yeah,
I'd say about 2 years. Within like 2 years and a couple of months.
Yeah, but that was the whole initial intent. Let's just have fun. Let's write music that we love, and we could care less what we do with it. We just want to have fun, and it just happened organically. And now it's kind of like, as Chris says, it's growing fins, and people are hearing it, and they're loving it. So that's like just a cherry on top that we never really expected, to be honest with you.
Right on. And in addition to, Joe has a following as a player and an industry person. All you guys come from, name bands, DragPipe, I was a huge fan of for a long time, and Negative Sky and other projects. Do you guys find, as I mentioned at the top, that maybe your individual friends and fans are super hyped for this because of like all this like circle of friends, circle of bands coming together?
I would hope so. It's a very symbiotic relationship around these parts, We've done a lot of time with each other in and out of other bands, and like in connection to other bands and shows together with other bands. And so like we find our way back to one another over time, like periodically, which is really cool, especially with Greg coming from Majul.
Right.
Way back in the day, we're talking.
He likes you, Greg.
Oh yeah, no, I like him.
I'm gonna date us. We're old.
Oh yeah,
just a little bit.
Yeah, no, 37.
Say old. We're
getting old, man.
I just feel my age, I guess. Like,
I do
like
too.
15. I'm like 15 going on.
Keep drinking. That's all. That's all we do.
You're white
keep
farmer, man. Keep
smoking.
Man,
no, I got too much last night, dude. I'm still feeling it.
All right, I got to show
Still,
tomorrow, so you better come see me tomorrow, by the way.
You know it.
Yes.
Right
Anyway.
on. So yeah, so you guys have a new single out. I'm probably going to butcher this, but I'm going to say Fatum Siam. I hope I said that correctly. My Latin is not my forte.
Chris has the Latin. He knows it.
All right.
No, Chris
I've
has.
got
Yeah, Chris will tell
I've
you.
got the pronunciation. The pronunciation is fartum scatalicious.
You're making fun.
Actually,
You're allowed. Yeah, I mean, don't pick anything too easy to get, of course, for fans to type in on Spotify or whatever. But it is a killer track and a very fun video. I don't know if this is, like you said, this project's been in the works for a little while. I don't know if this is music you guys made during the dark times of the last couple of years, or this is something that's been gestating for a while.
Yeah, I mean, Greg, he sent me the idea. Him and George laid down, all the basic tracks of the song, the bass and guitar, and used programmed drums at the time before Chris actually cut his tracks. And I got to tell you, it's been probably about a year, because I know that when I did my tracks, my solos, and all the stuff that I added, it was like April of last year. So it was right about that time when we're kind of like in the thick of things, in terms of COVID and everything. But we just used that to our advantage. We were all locked down and just creatively. I mean, it was kind of a blessing because we had so much time to just work on our music.
Right on. I was going to say, I know originally the idea was to have, and I don't know if it still is, guest vocalists, which is how you guys got to Dan, but it also feels like Dan is, because of the current track, Dan is the guy, but I don't know if that's going forward, or if that's the vision for the release, is going to be like a bunch of tracks with guest vocalists and guest spots and features.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I'm kind of I don't even know if I'm the drummer at this point. So I'm like, I'm
yes,
hoping,
you are. You better be.
I'm hoping.
Dude,
we had this talk already.
What are you talking about?
Why don't you ask the tiger?
Chris has his emotional support
Yes.
plushie, which we're all about that, Show me on the doll where they hurt you, Chris.
Love it.
Hey now, careful.
Look, it's fartum scatalicious. Yeah, fartum scatalicious. And when I went on Amazon to buy the single, I just typed in "swim the current, knowing your destiny," and it popped up, and I bought it. Yeah, so
Nice.
I didn't have to do the Latin translation. I just saw it, bought it, downloaded it, and I was like, "Hey, this guest drummer is pretty good." But also, so here's the other thing, man. This is what you don't know. This entire band, we're all guests. Like there's no actual band. It's just a virtual idea, and we're all guest players on it.
Right.
Like
Nice to
the
meet you,
usual
Jeff.
suspects, except a band.
Right.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
And then somebody comes out at the end and they're like, Kaiser Soze.
That's exactly. Except in our case, they go fartum scatalicious.
100%.
The flatulence.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Chris, you're out of your mind. I love it.
I'm sorry. Anyway, I digress. Yeah.
Yeah,
Too
good
fun.
stuff. Good stuff. Yeah.
We're all-
So, I mean, like anything else, these are challenging times, and it's great to have additional outlets to do stuff creatively because, the world is on fire every day. So it's very cool to have you guys all come together and do this thing. What's the immediate next step? Is there another track coming? Is there another video coming?
Yeah, I mean, the music is completely done for our next single, and I guess the game plan is to be able to have like a full album's worth of material, but we're not there yet. But I think really the only thing left to do on this next single is the vocals are not done yet, but the music's 100% done. Chris did his drum tracks for it, and that one's gonna be ready to go. We just have to get the vocals done.
Right on. That sounds like a plan. I know it's kind of it's a weird kind of singles world right now with streaming, but I still am a fan of, full releases. I think a series of singles is a good, smart music marketing biz plan to put out, build awareness, build, excitement and then put out a whole release. It's not a bad way to go.
That's always,
yeah. I mean, the thing is, like with these guys as great songwriters, I do see it that we could kind of put a release out there here and there, and then do a full record, you know, at some point. It just, the question is who's going to pay us and how much. But seriously, be able to do something like this, especially when touring has been sketchy and, you know, a lot of things get canceled and all that other stuff. This is such a great time to be in the studio, just, you know, locking down and getting stuff done. It's the perfect time for this kind of thing.
Nice. I know Joe is kind of like Shreddy Bags, you know, Humplick, and he's probably got a million riffs and licks hanging around. What about you, Greg? Do you write and riff all the time for this project or your other stuff? Or is it just
that's all he does? He's a fucking monster.
You know, the songwriting process, and you and George are the ones that kind of craft the whole song. We always use the analogy like it's like building a house, and it all starts with George and Greg. Greg has these riffs. He goes to George's. They hash it out at George's studio, and George is an amazing producer as well. And they'll kind of craft the whole entire song, all the rhythm tracks, program the drums, bass tracks, everything is done. And then they'll just kind of like, that's like the foundation of the house and the framework of the house. When that's done, they send it to me. And then I'm kind of like the guy that goes and paints and adds all the colors. So that I'll do all my solos, and I add like keyboards, synth pads, all that kind of stuff, and guitar solos. And it just kind of adds color to it, you know? And then usually we do the vocals last, but it's kind of like, I think that's why, you know, this came up in another interview too, like why things kind of work with us too, is like we each know what our role is in the band, and we know what we're, you know, our strengths and our weaknesses and what we're good at and bad at. And it just, you know, it just works because there's no egos, and we all know, okay, this is how it works. I know what I have to do. Greg knows what he has to do. Chris does his thing, and that's it. You know, it's a pretty smooth process the way we have it working right now.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm.
Nice. We've said so many nice things about George, and he's not here. I'll add, you know, nicest guy, great producer, great songwriter, bassist. I will add, George has stunningly beautiful hair. I'm angry as a guy that's now has no hair. I am almost angry looking at pictures of him with his incredible hair. It makes me feel less than.
He's a beautiful human.
Oh man!
If I had the support plushie, I would show you on the doll where George's hair hurt me.
Well, I will tell you, envy, okay, in this band, but also he uses the analogy of building a house, and we talked about it the other night on another interview. It was almost like cooking, and I really look at it like Build-A-Bear. Okay, you go to Build-A-Bear, you pick out, you know, what you like, pick out your furry animal, and then you stuff it. And that's where the music comes in, is we have the shell, the framework, and then we stuff it with a bunch of crappy drums. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so anyway, enough of that. It's a process, and as I have said before, it's like it's a trip, because we have this chemistry between us, and we've never actually met. We've never been in the same room, never shaken hands or shared a hug or any of that kind of stuff. And we're going to have beers soon, guys. We're going to totally hang. But it's a cool thing to be able to pull this kind of chemistry together from different locations and make it work. And that's what we kind of had to do during COVID, and it worked.
Nice. I applaud you all. Is this a project where you can eventually maybe, obviously you first got to meet in person and have some beers and jam, but any chance we can hope for a show at some point in the future? I know you guys are a little spread out.
That is a big goal of mine, is to play a show or many shows with Swim the Current. Absolutely.
Definitely. It's just like, organically that, you know, it's like, it's just building and building and building. And now it's to the point where, like, we never even talked about in the beginning of even thinking about doing shows. It was strictly going to be a studio project, you know, a passion project. And now all of a sudden it's like, wow, we got all the pieces in place. Things are going well. People are really enjoying the music. Why not do a show? You know, so now that's something we're talking about. So
right on.
We're really, the only thing that's holding us back right now is, of course, having, you know, writing the material, coming up with this stuff, and finding we're going to start auditioning dancers soon. So
Like your own version of the Laker girls or the Dallas.
Well, he's talking male
have you watched
dancers.
that
He
on
wants a
Sunday?
male dancer.
Oh, okay. I didn't want to
No.
genderify anybody. You know,
No,
but yeah, I just figured cheerleaders. But okay, male dancers is good too. Magic Mike style. I'm thinking some
No.
chest
It's
butter,
nothing like that. No.
tidy whities. What?
I thought you were
No,
referencing-
this is gonna be strictly cosplay furries. That's all it's gonna be.
Somebody's gonna do a furry video for a metal band. I'm telling you, there's a whole market there you're not tapping into. This is another bit of free wisdom. Furries in your metal video. Somebody do it. You guys, someone else, do it.
I'm into that all day long. Let's go.
The other thing we're gonna do is
I'm on that.
we're gonna have, like, instead of actually performing with instruments, we're gonna be like baby metal, and we're gonna go out and just dance to the songs like there's nobody playing, there's just tracks. We're gonna be acting it out on stage.
I'm gonna defend Baby Metal because I saw them live and their band totally fucks. They play so
legit?
hard. You legit.
Yeah.
Their band is killer, and they do love metal. I know it's sort of it's weird. It's jarring for people in America to have like J-pop and thrash metal, but it does actually work. It's like Dragon Force, but also like pop music, and it does work. And
I dig it. That's cool.
I saw them a few years back with Avatar in Manhattan, and the metal fans stayed and were totally into it. So they are legit. I know they get a lot of grief, and a lot of bands get a lot of grief, but like they do get probably more grief than they deserve. I'm going to defend them.
No, I totally respect that, man, and it's cool. That's freaking rad, because I know that when it started, it was a different thing, and then it developed into this whole big amazing thing. Speaking of Dragon Force, by the way, one of the coolest experiences I ever had was at the Wiltern. I stood on the side of the stage, behind, kind of off to the side of Dragon Force, and watched them play. They were playing with Killswitch Engaged, and it was Wiltern, LA. Killer crowd, sold out, going nuts. But to watch those guys do what they do, not from the side and like kind of from the back, it was unbelievable. Those guys are, and the looks that they throw each other on stage are freaking awesome, because they'll look at each other like, I can't believe you just pulled that off. And it's like, yeah. Same with Killswitch, like the chemistry was just unreal. Yeah.
Oh, those guys are just totally goofy. I love them. I lived in Boston for a long time, so I love.
Okay.
That was like overlapped with the new wave of American metal. So Unearth, Shadows Fall, Killswitch, All the Remains. I saw all those bands. I'll even throw Diecast in there for fun because I love them. And
Jason so Bittner is like a freaking drum hero of mine. Like, and he lives kind of in the area. I gotta hang with that guy, man. Jason, you see this? Come on, dude. Let's have beers. But I will tell you this. Here's a little bit of trivia. I saw Killswitch with Pat Lockman filling in.
Okay.
When Adam hurt his back.
Sure.
Yeah.
Pat from Damage Plan and Halford.
Yeah,
fun times. Yeah, I remember that.
I
remember that.
He crushed it. Yeah, he was so good.
Adam's like a prize fighter, man. He's got a wrecked knee and a bad back, but he still comes back swinging. That dude.
Totally, like Nita with Alice Cooper.
True.
I hope her knees. If you're watching this, I hope your knee heals and you get out there and.
That was
poor
brutal.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
No surgery though. She's gonna rehab it, I guess. So.
I had a bad injured knee, and they opted to not have surgery. I didn't get the choice. They were like, "Nah, you don't need it." And insurance sucks, so don't bother. I think I had a knee tear. I got moshed into photographing I Hate God, and I got moshed into a small stage, and I'm a round guy. So my knee smashed in, and I think I was hanging with I Hate God after the show and partying, so I didn't realize how hurt I was for a long time after. If you smoke the I Hate God weed, you're going to be feeling it weeks later, trust me. And yes, Jimmy Bauer, I'm looking at you. And yeah, I don't know where that shit came from, but I was like on another planet for all of that month. And then I was like, oh, my knee is severely jacked. I don't know what's going on. Oh, your knee's ligament is torn. You need to recuperate. I was like, okay, shit. things that happen to you at shows. But yeah, man, it's awesome. You know, like it seems like you guys all have a big passion, not just to make music, but to be in the scene and support other bands. And you know, we've lost so much the last couple of years. I'm just so glad that shows are coming back, and we can go out and even just have beers at like a metal night and see our friends or just whatever. So it's fun that this project came together. You know, such a random assortment of dudes, like the end of I Love You Man and like the wedding scene in I Love You Man. It's like Ferrigno and Joe Latruglio and you know with that and Jason Segel and Paul Rudd. So you know, just like but it's cool that you guys sort of came together like a Voltron and made this thing because it's really killer. I love the track and I'm very excited for more stuff from you guys.
Cool.
Thanks very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Just as we wind this down, I want to give you guys back to your night and let Chris get back to his plushie and and whatever you do. And yep. And does he have a name? We have to know.
The name is Fardum Scatalicious.
Is he wearing a neck chain? Does he have like a gold chain? What the hell?
Yeah, this is it's for that's a D. See that?
Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
I can't tell you what that stands for though. No. Drummer.
Hope so. Yeah.
Drummer.
All right.
Yeah. Drummer.
Yikes. Anything you guys are looking forward to? Going to any shows or you know anything? Any records coming out you're very excited about? New Rammstein came out today, so that's really exciting.
Hell yeah!
Coming back to New York after that got canceled because of COVID, so I can't wait to see that Hammerstein Ballroom. So
Deftones and Gojira.
Yeah, I would say Deftones as well. Deftones #1.
Yeah,
numero
love
uno.
Love Deftones.
I'm looking forward to seeing Burnsy from Hatebreed and then Jason Bittner from Shadows with and Overkill with their side projects because they play with like swing bands and they do all these little side things and they kill it. They play like cover band stuff.
That's exciting. I didn't. Yeah, that's awesome. That sounds great. I don't think I knew about that.
Oh yeah, man. No, they do like little club things and little theater things and they just crush it. It's so fun. Yeah.
Cool.
I'm looking forward to dropping some vocals on some new Swim the Current shit like really soon.
Yeah.
Okay, dude.
Let's do it, Dan. Let's get it done.
Writing some stuff, man. Writing some stuff. So
Good.
I got a track. Hi, Chris. Hi, Joe. Nice to meet you guys, by the way.
Yeah, this is fun. This is like a party line. 976 band dudes.
Love your stuffed animal, by the way. Flatulence. I'm gonna call him Flatulence the tiger.
The D is for Dan.
I love you, man. I love you.
Wow, that's pretty special.
That's the shit. The song is really cool. It's been great doing this with you guys, man. So I got some cool shit to throw down on something that George sent me. So we're gonna see what happens, man. Okay, and we'll see what happens. You know.
All right, sneak preview here, right here, live in the interview.
Yeah, let's get it done, Danny.
All right.
We are.
Fun times with Swim the Current. Thank you guys for hanging out on a Friday night with me and sharing this stuff. We're going to link everything in the description. Shout out to George once again, who's not here,
George,
but is awesome.
George.
Georgie.
I'm sorry he couldn't make it.
Swayze, bro.
Thanks you for everything you do, man. He loves you.
Yeah.
That's it. He does. Yep. He said it a few times today. He loves you.
I tell you.
Having us, man. Really appreciate you.